The FBI is finally investigating voter fraud. However, I believe the real question that is needing to be asked here is, why did it take so long for this to happen? It has been almost a month now since Election Day, and despite mountains of evidence piling up at the feet of this election, there still seems to be nobody truly interested in investigating. Now, I am cautiously optimistic about the FBI investigating the election finally. However, I say cautiously optimistic because, as we all know, the deep state runs deep. I wouldn't expect too much to come of it, if I'm being perfectly honest, if anything at all. We know that the political cronyism runs deep in Washington, D.C., and has infiltrated virtually every branch of the government from top to bottom. This includes the FBI, Department of Justice, the CIA, the list goes on. And here we go, here's the article. This is from the Washington Examiner. FBI requests groups election fraud data that shows hundreds of thousands of fraudulent ballots. Let's get into it. Amistad Project Director Philip Klein announced that the FBI requested to look into former chief Trump campaign strategist Matt Brainerd's data on election fraud. After learning that hundreds of thousands of ballots are potentially fraudulent, the FBI has requested to look at our data. Klein announced on Twitter Sunday. Here's the tweet. Klein, the former Attorney General of Kansas, now oversees the Thomas More Society's litigation efforts related to 2020 election fraud. The Amistad Project of the Thomas More Society retained Matt Brainerd and his team after Election Day to develop data analysis to cultivate as evidence to support election integrity lawsuits in the battleground states. Klein said in an attached statement, "We've learned that Mr. Brainerd was contacted by FBI Special Agent Young O." Young O, that's an interesting name. That sounds like a rapper or something. Of the FBI Los Angeles field office seeking our data. Mr. Brainerd is cooperating with this crust, and we fully support him. Klein said the data the FBI requested shows hundreds of thousands of potentially fraudulent ballots. This data has been used to identify hundreds of thousands of potentially fraudulent ballots in the states where we filed litigation, Klein said. More about this data will be made available in Matt Brainerd's appearance before a meeting with legislators in Arizona tomorrow. It continues on. We have obtained substantial and compelling evidence that unlawful actions by state and local election officials in swing states resulted in the casting and counting of hundreds of thousands of fraudulent ballots and the improper spoiling of tens of thousands of valid ballots. We are pleased to cooperate with any investigative authorities, Klein told the Washington Examiner. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. In a statement of his own, Brainerd said he is cooperating with the FBI request, yada, yada, yada. Here's the tweet that he released. Brainerd noted that despite recent criticisms of the agency, he has faith in several FBI employees, but would still be keeping the original copies of his data. That is a very smart move, Mr. Brainerd, a very smart move indeed. Where there has been legitimate criticism of the action of leaders of the agency over the last several years, I can personally attest to the many patriots within the rank and file who are fighting on the side of Constitution and law and order. Hear, hear, good sir. Everything I pass on to local, state, and federal law enforcement, litigants, legislatures, journalists, etc. is always a copy. And despite sharing it with individuals from all these groups, they're never guarantee of a productive result. So it seems as if Mr. Brainerd is also being cautiously optimistic, probably the wise decision in his position specifically. So now they get to this part at the bottom where they're asking what appears to have been a conversation between Donald Trump and Maria Bartiromo from, I believe it's Fox News. Yeah, Fox News on Sunday, in which she asked him where the DOJ and the FBI have been in all of this. And that is also a question that I think deserves answering for the American people. We have now unquestionable mountains of evidence piling up at the feet of this election. And for almost a month, the federal government has done absolutely nothing to investigate them, to at least see if anything is going on. Like, look, as I said in one of my videos the other day, we're not asking you to move the moon and the earth here. We're asking the very agencies that our government taxpayer dollars pay for to do their fucking jobs. It's not complicated. If you see evidence of crimes happening, go investigate the crimes. And if you investigate it and find out that nothing has happened, then you can say that. But at least take the step to investigate it, to look into it, take all of these claims very seriously. It's only the most important election of the most powerful country in the world at stake here. No big deal. So Mr. Trump, he says, missing in action, can't tell you where they are. I ask, are they looking at it? Everyone says, yes, they're looking at it. Yet this is the first that we've heard of it. This is the first official, on-the-record moment where we have had confirmation from the government that the FBI is looking into these instances, potential instances of widespread, or not even widespread, just any voter fraud whatsoever. Which I'm relieved about, but again, it comes with a grain of salt. Do I think anything is going to really happen? No, I don't think it's going to make any difference. I think the people in the FBI are going to go, oh yeah, we investigated, it's completely bunk, there's absolutely nothing here. And then it's going to go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court, well, the Supreme Court is a little bit different, seeing as how ACB and the rest of the Republican justices are probably, I would wager, are going to side with Trump. But it seems like everybody in this government, from absolute top to bottom, since Trump has taken office, has been working against him. And it's really a sad thing to see, because considering how much he's accomplished, despite that, it really makes you wonder how much he could have accomplished if everyone had just tried to work with the damn guy. Not one to mince words. He definitely says what he means and means what he says. He says here, we won the election easily. There's no way Joe Biden got 80 million votes. I just said there's no way Joe Biden beat Barack Obama in the black communities of various cities. And then he did very badly compared to Obama and other cities throughout the United States. There's no way it happened. The election was a fraud. It was a rigged election. That is definitely the narrative that Trump has stuck with since Election Day, and it seems like he is not giving it up. Now, I cannot confirm or deny that, to go so far as to say that the election was an entire fraud or that it was completely rigged. We simply do not have the evidence to prove that at this moment. There are red flags that are being raised. There definitely are things that need to be investigated, and I only hope and pray that the FBI will get to the bottom of whatever it is. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. That's all I have for you today. If you haven't already, please do consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Share this video if you can. I do not have any large news agencies backing me up, so my videos travel by word of mouth. Thank you so much again. If you do these things, it would really greatly help the channel, and I would personally appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, gotta get that money.
Gigi, I've decided not to leave this town. Maybe I can stay and find some other nice people who will like me and accept me for who I am.
Trusting your spirit, yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.